Hey, hello again, all of you. Today I'm going to show you how to change the power supply of a PC. As you know that this is the power supply box of the PC, right? I've uncovered one side of the PC, and this is the inside of my PC. Sometimes you have some type of overheating problem, and sometimes your PC doesn't boots up, doesn't get started. So in those types of problems, it must be that that your power supply is not working. So as you can see, here is my PC. I have connected the power supply, and as you can see, the PC, this is not working, right? So it's not starting, the fan is not running, the PC is not starting, so there must be some problem in the power supply box. So before replacing this power supply box of your PC, you first unplug all the power sources of your PC. So you have to unplug all the power supply sources. So as a startup, as you can see, this cable is coming through my power source, and so as I was saying that this cable is coming from, as you can see here, this cable is coming from my power source, and this cable is here connected with my fan. Okay, so as a first step, I'm going to unplug the power supply to my fan. Okay, so I will just unplug it like this. So it has been unplugged. So as you can see, I have unplugged all the cables which are connected to one end to my power supply and to other end to various parts of my CPU box. Okay, so I think there is no more cable attached to the CPU box, and one cable is here which is attached to my drive, CD drive, so we can unplug it. So I have unplugged that cable also. Now as a second step, if you unplug all those cables, second step, you have to remove this box, right? So you can see here there are 4 screws, right? 1 2 3 4. So you have to unscrew these. If you unscrew these 4 screws, your power supply box will get out. Okay, so let's start. So now as you can see, I have removed the screws, all the screws from the power supply box, and now as you can push from here, you can see that the power supply is almost free, and you just have to bring it out. As you can see, I am bringing out my power supply. So here is my old power supply. Actually there are a lot of cables. See, yeah, so this is my power supply which has been burnt out. So as you can see, we have completed the second step successfully, and this is the burnt out power supply, and we will put it here, and this is the new power supply. So this is the new power supply box I will install in this place. And as you can think that just we have to install it here, and we have to just plug the cables. But before that we have to check whether this power supply box is running or not. I have taken this power supply box from an old PC, so I don't know whether it is working or not. So let's check it. Friends, as I have told that we have to check this whether it is working or not. So for this we have to, as you know, this is the fan of the CPU box, and there is no load, right? I have not connected any of the components, so till there is no load this fan will not move. And I hope you will not have multimeters at your home so that you can check it directly. So what you can do, you can create the load to this fan. So what you can do, if you have some type of pin like this, I'm having this type of pin, right? So if you have this type of pin, so you can first try to make this pin U-shaped. Just open the ends of the pin and make it U-shaped pin, as I will show you. Now as you can see, I have opened the pin and it's been similar to a U shape, and now we have to short the load of this power supply, because if the power supply is shorted, the current will flow and the fan will move, and you will be able to check whether it is working or not working. Okay, so for shorting you have to bring out this main power cable. This is the main power cable, and what you have to do, you have to search for the green cable and any black cable. Okay, so there is only one green cable, as you can see here. There is only one green cable and many black cables, so you can use any of the green cable. You can put one side of the pin in any green cable and other side of the pin to any black cables. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then it will be shorted. So now friends, as you can see, I have plugged the pin to the you can see clearly from here. One of the one end of the pin I have put in the green one, and the other end to the any black one. So there will be two types of two parallel ports, right? So you have to remember that please put on the same side. Okay, on the same side. This is having parallel two pins. Okay, so you have to put the pins on the same side. Okay, so this is the 24 pins. This is 24 pins power bus. Okay, so now I am going to start the fan, and suppose we have shorted the load of the CPU. Now the current will flow and the fan, I hope the fan will rotate. So I am turning on the power supply, and from here, and as you can see, here we go. As we short the load, the fan started moving. So we can check if we have sorted this load. This load is shorted via a pin, and when we turn on the power supply, the fan is moving. So we can check, and we are sure that okay, this power supply box is good, and now we can install this into our main CPU. So if you don't have any type of multimeter, or you are replacing power supply box at your home, you have new power supply box, then it will be okay. But if you don't have new power supply box, you have some old power supply box and you want to check that whether it is working or not, you can check like this by shorting the load. Okay, so This box, we have checked that this box is working. We will turn off the fan, and now we will turn off the power supply, and now we will install this box inside this CPU. So friends, as you can see, I have just put this power supply box inside, and now I am putting the screws. Okay, so I have put in this I have put this power supply box inside my CPU, and now I am screwing the 4 screws, and then we will join the cables. That was our last step. Okay, so friends, as you can see, I have installed this power supply box. I have tightened the screws. Now, as I have told you previously that we have unplugged some cables, so first of all we will plug this CPU cable. This will go to motherboard, right? So we will plug this first in the socket from where we have taken it out. So just plug it like this. Okay, so I have done with all the cables. Again, I am reminding you, just put this inside, just plug the power cable to the motherboard, the first one. The second one is here to the hard drive. Some cable will go to the your, like here, this I have connected, this will go to the LED in front of your CPU, the LED in this, the lighting, or here some lighting. Some will go to the fan, and one cable will go here again to the motherboard. Okay, so there are total 5 cables, as you have seen, 1 2 3 4 and 5. You have to unplug 5 cables, and then again you have to plug again the 5 cables. And now I'm going to start my CPU. I have plugged my CPU here, and my CPU is off. Now I'm going to start, and okay, now we will start from here, and now we are going to switch it on from here. Okay, so yeah, it's working. As you can see, the LED is glowing, and here my fan is also rotating, and this fan is also rotating. So as you can see, my CPU is working. Now I just have to connect this to my cables, and my PC will start working. So this is, and you can see from here you can have some air. So, and the rest of the cables, see, as you can see from here, the cables are going to the fan and all the things. So you have to just bind it, just take some wire and bind these cables so that they will not interfere with your fan. Now your CPU is ready. So thanks friends, this is my video for showing that how to change the power supply of a PC. If your power supply is not working, if your PC is not starting, if your PC has some problem, and you know that the problem is due to the power supply box, and you want to replace it, and you have some old power supply box and you want to replace it, then this video will be helpful to you. Okay, thanks and best of luck. If you have any questions, comments, please put it below. Bye.